Hi, it's Nick from the Run Testers, and in this video I'm going to be comparing the Nike Infinity Run 2 and the Nike Invincible. So let's look at the kind of design and the key stat of the shoe first. Let's start with the price actually, that's perhaps the most important stat of all. The Infinity Run 2 is the cheaper shoe of the pair. It is $139.95 in the UK or $160 in the US, whereas the Invincible comes in at £160 in the UK or $180 in the US. Otherwise they're quite similar actually. They both have a 9mm drop in the men's version, whereas the women's version of the Infinity Run 2 has an 8.4mm drop. Comes to weight, they're quite similar again. The Infinity Run 2 is 303 grams in my UK 9, that's 10.7 ounces, whereas the Invincible is 297 grams or 10.4 ounces, again in my UK 9, so it's the slightly lighter shoe of the pair. They both have Flyknit uppers. Neither of them are kind of the classic Nike Flyknit in terms of being a real booty sock style. They're both a bit more structured and stable than that. The Infinity Run 2 actually has flywire cables around the midfoot as well to try and kind of increase that stability there, and neither of them really allow your foot to slide around a lot or kind of fit in that kind of stylish sock style that you get from Flyknit in the past. They're also not booty style kind of uppers. They've both got kind of separate tongues, although the Infinity Runs is kind of half separate and apparently rips out very easily, but 3 of us have tested the shoe and none of us have had problems of ripping the tongue out. They both have quite a lot of padding around the heel. The Infinity Runs is quite welcome because it gets rid of the kind of issue of heel slippage that was happening on the first edition of the shoe for many people with a very kind of pared back upper. There's a lot more padding here on the heel and tongue. Really nice, quite comfortable, snug fit there. The Invincible also has a lot of padding around the kind of collar here, including some on the outside of the collar, which doesn't seem to make a lot of sense, but again, very comfortable, plushly padded here. Both got quite nice wide flat laces, really kind of hold the foot in place, which is neat as well because they're both really wide. That's another big feature of these shoes. Both of them have got some stability features in mind because they are such high stack shoes, and particularly in the case of the Invincible, which has got very soft foam in the midsole. Both have got very wide kind of base, and they've got this heel clip that runs around the kind of rear of the shoe, like all the way around, quite a long way, especially on the Infinity Run, again just to provide some extra stability. Probably the key difference in the shoes is the foams used in the midsole. The Infinity Run uses Nike's React foam, which is a pretty nice, comfortable foam, very durable, whereas the Invincible uses Nike's ZoomX foam. This is kind of the best foam in Nike's lineup. It's the stuff used in the Vaporfly and the Alphafly racing shoes. We've not had a training shoe from Nike with a full ZoomX midsole before, though the Pegasus Turbo and the Tempo Next Percent have used ZoomX foam alongside other foams in the past. This is a very soft, squishy, really nice springy foam, but that's why these extra stability features are needed, because it is so soft and squishy, and I guess that was a worry for Nike that it would end up being quite unstable. Whereas the React foam is a little bit firmer in the shoe, it's much more stable, but the Infinity also has a slight rocker design, kind of transition you through your foot strike kind of smoothly, and really this shoe is all about kind of smoothness and kind of protecting you from the impact of the ground, whereas the Invincible does put a bit more spring in your step with that kind of soft ZoomX foam. On the outsoles, we've got different pattern designs, slightly more waffle design on the Invincible. It's kind of splurge design on the back of the Infinity Run here. Both have gripped well for me. I've used both versions of the Infinity, and I used the first one for a lot of miles, and it really has exceptional grip in kind of all conditions, and this rubber is exceptionally hard wearing as well. It's a really durable shoe. Haven't seen much wear and tear on the Invincible yet after 80k, but I don't expect it to be quite as hard wearing as the Infinity, but there's a lot of rubber here to protect that kind of soft ZoomX foam and make sure it doesn't get kind of torn to shreds on the run. One last thing to say is where we got the shoes from. The Nike Invincible was provided by SportsShoes at no cost to us. We're not paid or affiliated with SportsShoes. It doesn't affect anything we have to say in this review, but thank you to them for providing the sample so you can do this review. Nike provided the Infinity Run directly. We're all journalists in our kind of our day jobs, I guess, and we get provided with lots of gear by brands and retailers at no cost to ourselves for impartial reviews on a variety of publications. So quick note on the fit. The Infinity Run 2, like the 1, is completely true to size for me. Really comfortable fit, nice, fairly snug around the toe box, despite the fact it's got a really wide base. Comfortable, locked down, no concerns with fit here at all. The Invincible is much the same. I am true to size in this shoe, and I've been happy using that. That said, it has got an even wider forefoot and maybe a slightly longer design, and I have quite narrow feet, so I could perhaps have gone a half a size down in the shoe, but I've had no problems with my normal size. I'd recommend sticking true to size in this, unless you have very narrow feet, in which case maybe you could go half a size down, but I don't think it's a problem if you just stick with true to size. So, the running performance, obviously the key part here. The Infinity Run 2 runs very much like the Infinity Run 1. The main differences are really in the upper compared to the first shoe. It's got a really nice, comfortable, smooth ride. It's not really a ride you notice, it's very much a shoe that disappears on the foot. It's firmish, but not at all harsh. Smooth, rolls you through your foot strike, carry on with your day. Nail the run, especially on easy runs, but you're not really noticing the shoe or necessarily enjoying the shoe while you're on the run. I've done a good variety of runs in this shoe, and I've done loads of running in the Infinity Run 1, like I say. Done a couple of progression runs, starting kind of around 7-minute miling, finishing at 6-minute miling, and it handles those nicely. I've even done an all-out session in the shoe, running 2 sets of 12 times, 60 seconds on, 30 seconds off, and I have to say I was really impressed by how well it performed actually on that. I was kind of hitting paces I'd normally hit just in my, I'd usually pick a lightweight speed shoe for that kind of run. But really, it's at its best on that kind of easy miles, especially long runs. You just cruise along in it. It really deadens the impact of the ground, and it's ideal for that. It's stable, protective, and comfortable. The Invincible is obviously designed for a very similar purpose. It is all about those kind of easy runs, kind of especially recovery runs, but it's got a very different ride. It really is soft when you kind of hit the ground in the shoe, and you do get a fair bit of bounce back. It's a much more noticeable shoe, which is kind of in a good way. Like it's really fun to run in this shoe. Again, I've done about 80k in the shoe, kind of 2 big long runs, a kind of 24k long run and a 30k long run. Again, starting easy, finishing steady with a fair chunk at kind of 3:45 a k or at kind of 6-minute miling. And I was really impressed again with how this shoe performed at that speed on the run. During like easy runs and easy sections of those runs, I was thinking, this is really nice, really soft, really squishy. I am worried about how it's going to do at faster paces. Is it going to have just too much give? Am I going to have to be working too hard to kind of hold a good pace? But no, it almost kind of firms up as you put a bit more force and speed through it, and it does work quite well at those kind of easy to steady paces. So actually I was kind of fairly surprised by both in terms of how versatile they are as shoes. That's not to say in any way these are speed shoes. I really wouldn't like to go out trying to hold a race pace for long periods in them. You can do short stints of fast running and easing through the gears, kind of from your nice easy pace up to a kind of steady pace, maybe even a tempo pace is fine. But they really are built for that kind of max. They're not great on even faster stuff. The Infinity was kind of fine on those short 60-second stints, but if I was maybe doing a session where I was trying to hit a time for a set of 400s, I probably would want a faster shoe, a bit more reliable speed shoe on my foot. However, for what they do best, which is easy runs, long runs, they both do it really well, just in a very different style. So really the choice will come down to what you kind of prefer in terms of ride feel. A verdict on which shoe you should pick, and really like I say, it will come down to that choice of ride style. You've got your very soft, bouncy, fun Invincible, your very steady, reliable, durable Infinity on the other side here. Both are good for similar types of runs. Both have a decent amount of stability. The Infinity is more stable, I'd say, just because the foam's a bit firmer, the heel clip's a bit longer. That kind of rocker design, I think, does help guide you through your foot strike a little bit better than on the Invincible. But I'm not saying this is a really unstable shoe. I had a couple of times approaching sharp corners at steady pace where I thought, it's a bit big this. But they're both pretty stable shoes, both good for racking up a lot of miles. So the Infinity is firmer, it's smoother, it definitely feels more nimble. It's weird because this is the slightly heavier shoe, but it feels lighter on the foot to me. Like I say, it really does kind of disappear on the foot, I think, the Infinity, whereas the Invincible is more noticeable and it just feels bigger. I mean, it is big. This isn't exactly small, but it's a big shoe, and it, even though it doesn't feel heavy, it does feel big on the foot at times, and you feel a little bit probably clumsier in the shoe if you are trying to up the pace a bit. Both are easy day shoes, first and foremost. I'd say the Infinity may be slightly more versatile. I think if you were looking for one training shoe to do almost everything and you had a race shoe that you would maybe bring out for really key speed sessions only, you could probably do a lot more in the Infinity. and feel happier about it than maybe the Invincible, which just like I say, is a bit kind of big for kind of all-out speed sessions. I'd say both have gripped well for me, but the Infinity probably will have the edge there. This outsole on both this and the original Infinity has proved exceptionally good for me on kind of icy and slushy roads and wet roads, and it's never really let me down. Like, it's a really good, reliable shoe on that front when it comes to grip, and this is really hard wearing, this rubber, so I think that's a plus point for the Infinity. Generally, durability is going to be a big plus point on the Infinity side of things. The first shoe I did a few hundred miles in, it was renowned for lasting forever. I know people who've done over 1,000 miles. This shoe is built the same way. It's going to have that same kind of durability, and that's really what you want from an easy day shoe. Now, the Invincible, I haven't got a huge amount of wear and tear on this after 80k, but ZoomX foam is not known for its durability, put it that way. The outsole also doesn't seem like it's going to be as durable as on the Infinity. So I'd expect these to wear down in kind of a more similar, in a more traditional running shoe style, 400, maybe 500 miles max. And, which is fine, you're getting a fair bit out of the shoe then, but when it comes to, real easy day runs only, I'd probably be more concerned with durability than ride feel. And that obviously comes up when you consider the cost of the shoes. The Infinity is £20 cheaper, or $20 cheaper. Do you necessarily want that huge soft and bouncy feel on every run? Maybe you do. You're happy to spend a bit extra for that slightly more springy feel, and you're happy to buy new shoes earlier as well. But, there is a real case of saying it's more durable, it feels good, it's cheaper. The Infinity is probably the more obvious easy day shoe choice of the two for those reasons. Personally, after using both shoes, it really is almost too close to call for myself. I actually enjoy the ride feels of both of these shoes. I think if it really came down to it, I might go for the Infinity if it was my own money, just because of that guaranteed durability and that maybe slight bit of extra versatility you're getting there. If money is really no object at all, and you do want the most exciting new fun shoe of that amazing ZoomX foam, the Invincible won't let you down. That's it, guys. That is our comparison of Nike's new everyday trainers, the Invincible and the Infinity Run 2. Let us know in the comments if you've used one or either of these shoes and which you think you'll be leaning towards. So yeah, let us know in the comments what you like, and please like, subscribe and ring the little bell, and we'll see you next time.